Hey kiddies, enjoy this sneak preview of premium content available to our Patreon members. Let us know what you think and spread the word. We'll see you on the next one.
Doesn't sound like a lot, right, when you think about it. But if you're settling a case for $60,000, that's $360 or whatever it is. I'm not Asian. I don't do math. For IRS purposes, this is a minority-owned podcast, and I am Asian for that purpose. And I was like, and my boss said to me, he goes, you're not a lawyer, but this technically makes you a partner. I'm like, right, sound effect, explosion sound effect. And I'll tell this story very quickly after law, but and before I get back into law, and the reason I moved down here was for a chick, right? And I told him, I said, yeah, I'm going to be moving to fucking butthole Texas. And New Yorkers' perceptions of Texas, although fairly true, you know what New Yorkers' perceptions of Texas are? We think all of Texas is like the town I used to work in. Like, hey, we gonna fucking listen, China man, you come into the wrong end. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what we think in New York of Texas, right? And he goes, look, I really don't think you should leave. I think you should stay here. And remember, I wanted to join the NYPD. He goes, I'll make you an offer, because I was moving out of my place. He goes, you could stay at my apartment here in Midtown for just 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks. And, see if you'll think about it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get so many bitches with this apartment. But I declined because of true love's kitten. No, I want to come down to Texas and get that ass on me. Right? I had already met my girlfriend. I had flown down here. And I was back, and I had made the decision. I was like, I'm gonna move, and so I moved down here to Texas. It's about this time that I'm banging around in civilian jobs. I didn't know how it worked here, and then I finally applied with an agency, and that hired me, and I became a cop. Great, dream job. For loyal listeners, this may come as a shock to you, but I have a bit of a big fat mouth. Good for podcasting. And eventually you have your ebbs and flows, and then you get shit canned from a department because of your big fat fucking mouth. Subscribe to Patreon if you want to hear the whole story. And during this time, I got a civilian job. And I said, well, what do I know? The law. Surely it's not that much different in Texas. Texas. And sure enough, it's fucking different down here. But the core concepts are the same, right? Zealous advocacy, litigation, running and gunning, getting the best settlement, and you kind of just slowly start slipping back into that skin. Well, unbeknownst to me, but beknownst to others, I get back on the job. And it was great. And now I'm kind of doing the same thing, dipping my toe into these kind of two waters. And I'm seeing these core principles, which is ultimately adherence to the law. Adherence to the law, serving people, whether it's on the street or, in a courtroom or whatever, in an office, zealously, and just doing the right thing. Always doing the right thing. What do they say? Doing the right thing when no one's looking. I get into the kind of thick of my police career, and then I get fired again from an agency because of my big fat fucking mouth. And this is right around COVID. So I'm unemployed. We're locked down. Who's going to hire anybody, right? I'm unhireable also, right? Because I'm damaged goods. We have 2 little kids at home, because this is now 5 years ago, right? Jesus, COVID was a long time ago. Holy shit. We're bouncing off the walls, right? And my wife is like, and to be fair, I wasn't unemployed for that long, But my wife is like bouncing off the walls. She's like, you need to get the fuck out of the house. I was like, bitch, I need to get the fuck out of the house. And I get a job with a law firm. And, it's like like I was a cop, and then like, I don't know how that helps me, and my boss says, I want that. And I didn't know it at the time, but he hires me. And I made more money than I ever had as a cop. I was like, holy shit, I've been in the wrong fucking profession. And he brought me onto this case. Check this out. All right. It's a civil case. It involves Chinese-speaking clients, and it involves a criminal prosecution from a dangerous driver. And I'm like, I may actually be of use in this case. And my boss saw that from 50,000 miles down the road. And I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing this, but eventually I got back on the job. This fucking job, I swear to God. Jesus, I can't fucking, every time I fucking think I'm out, it fucking pulls me back in. God damn it. Right? It's like, you know who it is? It's like it's like the busty lunch lady that works down, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna go back for seconds. Like, motherfucker, you already done 8. Like, but come on, man. And now I am working full time, air quotes, for this law office, and then also a fucking full-time cop. And it's even worse because my wife's getting into school, and she's working, and our fucking kids are growing and eating more. I don't know how that works. And eventually I'm kind of like, I need to fucking pick which one I am. I need to pick, are you going to be civilian law, or are you going to be a cop? And it was always kind of like, not that the two are mutually exclusive, but I always felt like a fraud. I felt like a fraud because I'm not going to confidently tell people, yeah, I'm a police officer. I protect and serve. No, you don't. And then I also can't, oh, are you a lawyer? No, I'm a paralegal. Oh, okay. So what do? You send faxes? Yeah, bitch, I do send faxes, as a matter of fact, okay? And so I always felt like this kind of fraud imposter. And one night I'm sitting in my home office, and I scroll through, and I the first step to entering law school is taking the LSAT. And there's a website that, it doesn't matter. There's a website that everyone has to use called the LSAC that you have to. And I said, she came out of the shower, right? And she's standing there and I'm like, hey, come here, bitch. Come. And she got the towel. And she's like, what? Right. And it's like, I just signed up for the LSAT. Sorry. And I don't know why I felt like I had to apologize to her, but it was like, yeah, this is a waste of time. Sorry. And she was like, no, like, I'm super proud of you. And that's how, I don't want to turn this whole thing into a bitch fest about the wife and how great she is. Because believe me, she's got a lot of issues. But, I wasn't sure what I was doing. And to me, it was, oh, you're wasting money. And she was like, no, sorry about the feedback. That was my vibrator. I said, this is a waste of money. I'm not going to be able to do this. And then I take it, I apply, and I get accepted. And this is right around the time that we're both in school. Or sorry, she's in school. Again, we're dealing with kids. We have jobs. And I get I get promoted to a high-ranking position. And now I'm even further in stress, and I'm dealing with law school. I'm doing poorly in law school. And I have this Dunning-Kruger, like, you don't belong here. I've always felt like I didn't belong no matter what group I was a part of. You don't belong here in law school. You're just a dumb fucking street cop. And then on the flip side of things, because I had been promoted right at my job, like, I don't know how to do this job, to run a police department. I don't belong here. So it's like you constantly feel like you don't belong here. Why are you here? Get the fuck out. Just go back to, 17, getting coffee and doing certified mail stamps. That's where you fucking belong. And again, but again, if you ask me, how do you feel about your confidence in DWIs? Fuck yeah, I'll fucking do one right now. So I don't know what it is, right? Like, will you ever feel confident in blank? Will you ever feel will you ever gonna feel confident in fucking? Nah, man. I could always I can always say, you go to do the double finger thing, and then sometimes you enter in a back hook with the thumb, and then right. Producer Bob's looking at me like, what? How the fuck do you do it? Like, will you ever feel confident? Will you ever feel like you air quotes belong? And I didn't. Least of which, I'm surrounded by fucking 20-something-year-olds, wearing spandex, right? Men and women. And I didn't want to tell anyone I was on the job. And so now I'm doing this thing, right, where I'm going to crashes and death scenes and dead bodies and rotting corpses, and then having to come into class being like, make sure to fill out Socrative, and today's are you present? Choose answer A. Fuck you. And on top of a full fucking time job at a law office. You deal with a situation in the way that you want to. You start seeing, for all the barriers and obstacles, which ones are self-created. Nobody's sitting here telling me, oh, you don't belong here. My grades might have. But nobody's sitting here and telling you, you don't belong here. Eventually, you slide into a groove at X, law school, the new position in law enforcement as a manager. Fucking. And you do and this is why T's, who's not here, by the way, words are so prescient, right? You just put one foot in front of the other and you fucking zombify yourself and you do the fucking thing. And so with police management, I've never been a boss before, but I like you're lazy and you violating policy outside our city limits in Dallas County. I know how to deal with each of you contemporaneously. I also know how to make things better because what did I say very early on? I know how to create forms and type policy combined with, here we go, right? My knowledge that I'm slowly acquiring through law school and the knowledge that I have acquired through my law firm position. And I said, oh, you fucking idiot. These things don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can be a better fucking cop understanding criminal and civil procedure, which means something different to cops. Cops think, oh, civil and criminal procedure means criminal cases and civil cases. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about criminal procedure. The federal rules of criminal procedure, the Texas rules of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the Texas rules of civil procedure, the federal rules, those things don't have to be mutually exclusive. And by understanding these things, you can become a better cop. You can become a better attorney. You can become a better law student. You can become a better paralegal. So it's your fucking job to say, well, I like this thing and I like this thing and I really like that thing. Weave them together. And this is when you become almost not to be a dick, but it's almost like a renaissance. Now, I know it's been long said that Da Vinci and I have many things in common. We're both Italian, all right? We're both fat fucks. Right? Producer Bob made a fat fuck joke. Right? But no, you kind of enter this renaissance where you're like, oh, it's almost like, how do I synergistically apply this? So in understanding the law and case law and the case opinions and how stare decisis works and, what court holdings mean and federalism and judicial principles and, states' rights and autonomy, but also at the same time, interstate commerce and the dormant commerce clause. You start learning how to apply that to police work. And then what do you do with the police work? You apply it to law and you say, oh, you know what? On paper, this crash report makes a lot more sense to me because I've worked 400 fucking crashes. Or this criminal investigation, I know why they're doing this because we're cops. Okay. And then from the police side, management, you say to yourself, I'm literally writing policy, right? I'm literally dictating people's kind of livelihoods and lives. I will do it in an efficient way, in a way that, immunizes the city from any liability, right? Because that is my kind of chief concern, but also at the same time protects the rights of my cops. It can be synergistic. You deal with the cards. You play the cards that you're dealt.